Hi, and welcome back to Boss Wife. I am your host, Ebony. Here is where you will get your motivation for the week. Here is where you will get the tools and tips to learn how to play, laugh, and live hard, unapologetically. Here is where you will learn how to erase the lines of the box because you realize you cannot be contained. Here is where you will learn how to show up for yourself. Here is where the most powerful transition will begin in your life. Welcome to Boss Wife. Hey guys, and welcome back to BossWife.live. So tonight I'm super excited. I have another guest that I know will definitely empower you guys tonight. So if you haven't already, go ahead and put the babies to sleep. Go ahead and put the dogs up. Get you some wine, sit by the couch, get you some water, some Dr. Pepper, whatever you need to relax. And let's tune in for tonight. So my guest tonight is Colleen Biggs. You heard me, Colleen Biggs from Leadup for Women. I am so excited to be talking with her and sharing my ideas and listening to her experiences and just to have her empower me on tonight. So I know for sure you guys are going to definitely get something out of this, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about Colleen. She is an award-winning pioneer who empowers women to take bold steps to lead up in their lives and in their businesses. She also is heading a movement. She is empowering women to reach their full potential. She is a award-winning acceleration business coach, international inspirational speaker, author to a #1 international bestseller, Anatomy of Accomplishments, chief inspiration pioneer, and officer of Leadup for Women, a community that boosts tens and thousands of female entrepreneurs that are driven by their passions, supports and promotes others with a purpose to fuel female voices with power that are leading the way for all women worldwide to dominate the entrepreneurial markets. Hey Colleen, I'm so excited to have you on BossWife.live tonight. How are you doing?
So good. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's such an honor.
Definitely. It's my honor as well as my pleasure. I'm super excited about this. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So tonight I wanted to definitely ask you about Leadup for Women because I'm so interested and intrigued. I've been reading all about it. And could you just share with us how it got started and how you got involved with it?
I will. So I'm a corporate dropout, and I wasn't necessarily fond of the way I was treated in corporate America. Just kind of being in the box and, getting off the wheel was something I needed to do to be able to be out here, to be an independent, have my choices, have my freedom of time. And let me tell you, once I dropped out, I never looked back. And in my 20 years of coaching entrepreneurs, both men and females, the one thing that I knew was to be true was if you're not seen, heard, and you're not visible, then you're bankrupt and you're not successful. So I'd launched over about 340 businesses to this point, and every single one of them needed to be connected in their community. They needed to be telling everybody about them. That was the #1 key. So I knew as an entrepreneur, I needed to build a community where not only I had the opportunity to be on platforms, to be seen, to share all about my business, to where I can allow other female entrepreneurs to do the same. And being on these platforms helps them build their self-esteem, their self-confidence, get clarity in their message, because so many women are just standing back in the shadows waiting for something to happen. And it doesn't work that way. We're the ones that need to take the first step in our lives. We're the ones that need to give ourselves permission to be able to make the choices we want to make in our life. So I built this community selfishly to surround myself with all of these nice, like-minded women. No mean girls are allowed in my little club, And so we built it to over 10,000 women already. We started and launched it in January of 2019. And I just show up everywhere possible to spread the word about Leadup for the members of Leadup so that they can continue to expand their influence with other women that I bring into Leadup. It's really, an endeavor where all of the ladies are lifting each other, supporting each other, doing work with each other, because that's how we expand our influence to attract the right clients.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's very powerful. I listen to your podcast a lot, actually, and one thing that stands out to me that you say a lot is your network is your net worth.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that? Can you explain that to us?
Yeah. So, have you ever heard the saying of somebody who will say you're the combination of the 5 people you hang around with the most?
Yes, definitely.
So, everyone listening right now, think about the 5 people you hang around with the most. Do you have same personality traits? Do you guys like kind of the same foods? Do you like to go hang out and do the same things? Do you probably make close to around the same amount of money? All of that is probably yes. Here's what happens. When you start transforming yourself and you start going through mastering yourself, right? So you can master your success. You start growing, right? When we work on ourselves for self-development, we start transforming into the best version of the person we can be. Well, not everybody around us is ready for that, right? Not everybody around us is ready to watch us transform. They want to still sit there and gossip about what happened 4 years ago when we went on vacation together. And you're like, I'm so past that.
Right.
I really am about growing and learning and moving forward and the next opportunity for me, or then, the next place I can go to a conference to learn even more. And you're searching and you're hungry, right? Well, then usually our network at that point, they're not going with us. They're not growing with us. And that's okay. You need to understand that when you start growing and refining yourself and becoming the best version of yourself, you become bolder, you become more confident, you look different to other people, you carry yourself different. So those friends might not be okay with that growth, and that's okay. Hang around with the people that are going to help you grow your net worth. So you should never be the smartest person in the room or the smartest person in your circle. Yet so many women are afraid to infuse themselves into circles until they're ready for the circle. You need to start before you're ready. Be the one in the circle that needs to learn everything from everyone in the circle, and eventually you'll build to their level. If you're the smartest person in the room, what do you think's going to happen? You're going to go backwards, right, or stay stagnant where you are. So that's why your net worth, what network is really all about, your net worth, because it's really who you're surrounding yourself with.
Awesome. That's funny you said that, because I literally just said that in my podcast for tonight. So that's awesome. Thank you for confirmation.
Yeah.
So you also have a book that I find extremely interesting. Can you tell us about that and how you even began to create this book?
Yeah. So I think the one you're talking about is this one right here. Is this the one you're talking about, or is it the other one? Because I have 3 or 4. So this is my newest one.
Okay.
You're talking about the Anatomy of Accomplishment.
I am. Anatomy of Accomplishment. Yes.
So that's okay. I'll bring them both here for you.
Okay, perfect.
So the Anatomy of Accomplishment, this is the guide to bigger, better, bolder business results. So this was a compilation book I did with several women, and each one of them give a game plan on what you can do to like ace your IQ, about connection.
Wow.
So they're really talking about how to be, move from employee to entrepreneur. This is your guidebook for a female entrepreneur to grow your business. So you have several different women that are offering their advice in this one. This little beauty, we just launched on August 11th, Step into the Spotlight to expand your influence and attract more clients. It went #1 bestseller on Kindle for the day, #1 bestseller in 5 countries and in 5 different categories. So we killed it and rocked this book. This book has 10 authors in it, and this is all about what you can bring to the table to keep yourself visible and in the spotlight at all times. So you have authors that are talking about how to do that for self-care, for yourself, right? How to do that for a vision and writing a vision and goals and plans for yourself. How to do that speaking and monetizing from stage. I talk about how you can do that and push past fear. So every single one of us are giving you just opinions, ideas. We're teaching you how to get over the hurdles, and every single author gives away free gifts. for you to have as well. So I'm proud of the books that we've done thus far. I've also done a book called Impact with several other authors of acronyms. And of course, LEAP is a big acronym of mine, Lead with Enhanced Acceleration to Reach Your Peak Potential. And then I've also done 2 journals on Amazon. And then, of course, publishing the bi-monthly magazine that we do on a regular basis.
Right. Wow, that's amazing. So can you tell me something that your favorite part of your book, of the last one you just wrote?
The last one I just wrote.
Yes.
I think that my most favorite part about this book was, number one, compiling and giving the authors the opportunity to really go to that next level, to become authors, to collaborate with so many powerful women. That was my favorite part of doing this book, because everything I do is about serving other women, for them to be seen and heard. And for some of these ladies, this was the first time they had an opportunity to write a book. And so for them, this was very validating for them to build their confidence, that I would want them to be in a book with me. That was also very validating for them. So there was so many wonderful things that came out of it, but it's just seamless to me on a collaboration like that, how beautiful the book turns out and all of the advice that is offered. Women give away so much free advice to other women to grow, because we don't want to do this alone. We want all the other women to go with us. And if it's one thing I know, my vision is so grand for what we can do and what we're capable of doing, that I want to see the blueprint of women in corporate America, the blueprint of women in ownership of businesses, to be changed forever in the future. And the only way those changes are going to become real is if the women that are in corporate America have the self-esteem and confidence to step up, to speak from the seat that they're sitting in, to negotiate a better salary, to create more opportunities for executives at the executive level and not fight over 1 or 2 chairs, for more female entrepreneurs to build more businesses that are making more money. I want to have more women millionaires than we have men millionaires. And that's what I'm going for, because we bring so much to the table. And if women didn't fight for our rights to vote, for our rights to have a loan without having a man's name on it. Did you know there are still states in the United States that literally state that a woman cannot sue her husband if he rapes her? Like, see, most people don't know that, but we're still fighting the battle. We are still fighting the battle for women equality. And the only way we're going to get there is if each one of us just put in our part today. Even though I may die before I ever see the vision I've envisioned, at least I've started the ball rolling, and other women have been helping me push.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And there's some states that still won't allow women to get loans without their husband's signatures on it. I mean, that was a law 30 years ago. So to think that law still exists somewhere in states, because no one has gone in to make the change of the law. Like, excuse me, but that's crazy. What if you don't have a husband and you need a loan?
That's true. Right. So, and that sets a whole nother stigma in women. So, that's definitely.
I mean, for example, I remember when I first filed my business, when I became an entrepreneur, and I had to file as a women minority business through the government. And I was like, why do I have to file as a minority? And they said, because you're a female. Oh, so women are minorities to the government? They said, yes. Got it. Good to know. When are we going to change that? Right.
Because I thought crazy. It was more women in the world than men anyway.
It's crazy. We control more of the global spending, I'll tell you that, about 80% of it. So
Definitely. Definitely. That's amazing. So, what do you think was your turning point? Because I know you also do coaching. You're a leader. You're speaking. What was your turning point that said, you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to stand up for women. This is when I want my voice to be heard.
I did a lot of crying in corporate America. You know, I couldn't understand. It was so baffling to me, Ebony, There were some women that I thought were so supportive of me in corporate America that were my friends. And the next thing I know, they're backstabbing me and talking about me. And then some managers coming in my office saying we need to have a talk, or the CEO's calling me while I'm on the road saying I need to have a talk with you about someone. And I just felt like just sad.
Yeah.
I felt really sad. I didn't understand why people couldn't just collaborate, be honest with each other, have great conversations. And even those hard conversations that you need to have with someone, at least they're truthful and respectful and
Right.
from the heart. But I just felt like every moment I was being thrown under the bus or backstabbed for something I was doing. And let me tell you what, nothing ever stuck, because you can't create a lie and make it come true when
True.
it doesn't real. And
True.
when you're an honest person like me and you don't ever lie, you never have to worry about, will something catch up with me, right? So I was so sad. I was broken down. I didn't understand it. I only wanted to, how that child only wants to be friends with everyone.
Yes.
Have it just be a happy place. So
Yeah.
I created a gratitude program for the company, thinking that would bring more into the company of people appreciating each other. Sometimes you just push against the grain of things that don't want to be changed.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So I knew that my time in corporate America was very limited and getting to the end. And one day I was sitting in a room, and I remember it was like probably August of 2018, and it was all women around a round table, and it was called a round table. It was a business for executives round table. And they asked the question, what is your story? Now, normally the question we get at that round table is, what do you have on your plate today? What's happening in the industry? Where's it been a struggle for you as a female in this industry, and all that crap that they all want to know about, right? It's just good reading. But they said, what is your story? And you could hear a pin drop in that room for 3 straight hours. No one moved, as each woman went around and told her story. And we cried with her. We laughed with her. We hugged her. It was amazing how woven we are as sisters and as women. I mean, men can't touch the strength that we have for each other. And I was just blown away by the power of that, because I had never been in a room where women were so supportive of each other in corporate America ever in my life. And right at that moment, I remember walking up to my partner that used to be in Leadup for Women, and I said, we need to start a business, and we need to start a women's organization like tomorrow. And we pretty much started it like the next day, launched it, 8 months later or 6 months later in January of 2019. And that was really my pool of knowing that women have it in them to be that supportive of other women. And we need more women like that stepping to the plate to support each other, to help each other's careers excel in corporate America, to help each other's businesses excel, podcasts excel, you name it. We need to be out there lifting women more and not being afraid to open a door and let another female walk through first, knowing that they're not my competition, they're my collaboration. Right. And that's the biggest fear point that I see that exists in corporate America, that kind of still exists as entrepreneurs, because we all come from male-dominated industries, because males started every industry and we entered the workforce very late, and we're more of nurturers. But the nurturing aspect of us is what helps people know, like, and trust us. So the more nurturing we are, the easier it is for us to get clients, the easier it is for us to make money, and we can still do all of that and take care of our families and do all of the other 1,000 things that we do in our lives, really, really well, and not ever feel like we have to give up one of those identities. And I know so many women, including myself, that gave that up for a long time. And I gave up what I wanted in life, to be a mom. But then when your kids grow up and they leave, what do you have left? I remember Oprah Winfrey was interviewing someone on her show, and I don't remember who it is, but I'll never forget this one time when I heard them say that. They say, children pass through your lives, they don't become your life. And I thought, I'm letting my children become my life, right? We just transform into what we need to be for our kids. Right. But then we just put ourselves on a shelf, and then we sit there and get dusty and old. And, you know, we don't even recognize ourselves anymore once our
Right.
kids are gone. And that's the biggest mistake we can make, because our children are modeling us. So you want them to model a strong individual who knows who they are, knows what they like, goes after their dreams. And when you give yourself permission, Ebony, like you and I do, to be that person, we automatically give that gift to our kids to be that person that they want to be,
Right.
you know, without judgment.
True. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. And that is actually one of my main motivations, is because I have, I have two girls that are modeling after me, and then I have two guys that I want to know, that they're going to pick a great woman to marry, you know what I'm saying? And to be that support for that woman. So yes, that my children are definitely one of my biggest motivations. And not just that, like, I realize that working for other people, now that I'm pushing their agenda, I'm pushing their values, and I need to be doing my own. I need to be pushing my own agenda, my own values. I need to make sure that my life aligns up with what I believe in and not somebody else's. And I don't want to be. I tell my children all the time: make sure you get your education. Make sure you do what you want to do, because you don't want somebody putting a dollar value on how great you are. Mm-hmm. And so
Yeah.
we definitely give that away.
I have to tell you, I'm glad you shared that, because for a lot of women, and I don't know if this is for men, but I didn't realize it until I left corporate America, but I'd always made really good money. My worth became what I made.
Right.
And when I left corporate America and wasn't bringing in money from corporate America, it was like, well, what's my worth now? Because my worth was always based on how much money I made, because that's how the company valued your worth.
Right.
Was how much money you made and what you contributed. So I always thought that was my worth. And let me tell you, that was a hard road to travel for several months.
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of rediscovering of myself to realize my worth was me breathing, me just being Colleen. My worth wasn't what I made in money. But then once you get that fire lit under you, and there's a lot of women that are waking up right now, Ebony. I believe this is the time for women leadership. There's a reason why there's a time for women leadership right now. And so many women are coming to the plate to say, I want to play in the female arena. I want to support other women. And sometimes they do that through being an intuitive, through hypnotherapy, through being an empowerment coach, through being a business coach, from being a VA. I mean, you name it. There's so many opportunities out there for women to be able to run their own businesses. And I would have given my left arm, if I had the opportunity when my children were young, to be able to raise them at home and still make money and run a business and not have to go to a corporation every day and give my whole life to that company and neglect my family, which is what I felt like I did for years. And I can't get that back.
No, we can't.
Yeah.
No, we can't. So the big question I want to ask you tonight is, how do we master us? How do we begin to even master who we are in order to master our success?
The first thing is we have to start before we're ready. That's the very first thing, right?
Because I absolutely believe that.
Most people think I have to be ready to master me. It's like, no, you'll never be ready. Nope. It's like, I have to be ready to have my first baby. Nope, you'll never be ready, because you have no idea what's going to happen when you have that baby.
That's true.
And you're never ready for the second or the third, even though everyone thinks they need to be ready for something. And that's why women don't apply for positions. It's the same thing. You have to start before you're ready, and you only really have to take the first step. So I really feel like one of the best steps we can take, and I recommend books for guidance, because books are great guides. So I'm going to throw a few out that are my favorite. But one of the first ones I recommend is The Magic by Rhonda Byrne.
Okay.
So The Magic is based off of The Secret. What I love about The Magic is it's 1 month, so it's 28 days, I think, or 29 days. You do them every single day, and it's about gratitude. Gratitude is one of the strongest things you can do for mindset, for belief, and for manifestation. So when you set your mind, you have to be a person to become a person. That's where I think people struggle, right?
Wow.
So you just have to take the first step. Tomorrow, you're not going to be the person already that you want to become, because it takes a while. There's a lot of crying. There's a lot of uncomfortableness. writing gratitudes and being thankful for what you have today keeps you in a positive mindset, because you can't be negative and positive in the same time, in the same space. So it keeps you in a positive mindset. The other thing is, read books you enjoy. Jen Sincero is probably one of my favorite authors in this area, because she writes books about being a badass, but in a really fun way. She tells a lot of stories, and she gives you actual things that you can work on every day. If you are struggling with your worth, I have sticky notes all over my desk that you can't see right now that is all about money, right? Because I've been reading a lot of money books. And it says, I love money because I love myself. I love money because it's the root of so much awesome, right? They're all over the place. The more you see words, the more they burn into your subconscious. So you need to be doing mantras every day about, I'm pretty, or I'm worth it, or I'm a great salesperson. I used to tell myself, Ebony, that I was clumsy for years. All the time I'd knock something off. I'm so clumsy. I would trip over cracks in the road. I constantly told myself I was clumsy. Well, what do you think happens when we believe something? We become that person. Right. So I became a clumsy person. Then one day I was like, I'm not clumsy. What am I talking about? Then I started telling myself, every time I started to say I was clumsy, I would say, nope, you're not clumsy. You're not clumsy. And I would keep replacing it with that. And I don't knock anything over anymore. So we literally become what we talk about. We become who we think we are. So it's about constantly feeding yourself every single day to believe in yourself. And through mantras is the best way to do that. I actually do a course that's called Master You to Master Your Success, where I walk people through just the basic stuff. What is your why? Why do you get out of bed every day? Why are you even living? What is this all for? What do you want to see? When you die on your deathbed, what do you want to have accomplished? Just the basic stuff. If you have fears and all the gremlins that come up during the day, write them all down on a piece of paper and go outside and burn them. Light a fire to them and burn them, and then rinse them down with a hose so there's no remnants of them. And that's how easy it is to get rid of things that we're scared of, because they don't exist. They don't exist. So, and get a buddy. That's probably the biggest piece. When you're going through changes in your life, when you're going through major growth changes, you're going to have a lot of uncomfortable times. If you're uncomfortable, you're growing. So congratulations. When you're comfortable, you're complacent, you're not growing, right? So get comfortable being uncomfortable, but have someone by your side that's an accountability buddy who can be there for you, because when you're having a hard time, you need someone to reach out to. When you're struggling, you need to have somebody by your side. So have someone there that if they hear you saying negative things, or if you're struggling with something, you can reach out to them. So those are just some basic steps, I would say, with starting. Gratitudes, read mindfulness books, write your gratitudes every day, at least 10, making sure that you're staying in a positive mindset. I mean, I spend the whole first hour of every day raising my vibration and getting in a positive mindset. I do not spring out of bed like that every day. I don't. This is what happens after I do all my morning stuff that happens in the morning, and that carries me throughout the day. But we just need to be mindful of that when you're on the right track and you're doing things great, that's when all the attacks are going to come. Why? Because the adversary doesn't want us to do great things.
No, true.
But you're meant to do great things, and that's what God wants for us. So you have to stay on that path, and just make sure you have a buddy there to help you, because it's really tough when you're in a growth mode.
It definitely is. Really tough. It definitely is. I've made mention of this a lot. I have a friend that tells me that I'm fireworks all the time because I have so much going on. She's like, you need to just calm down. But I mean, sometimes she does. She keeps me very grounded, because I try to do too much at one time. And, like I mentioned tonight on my podcast, I was just saying, when you're doing so much, you're never really giving 100% to everything, because we're giving 10% here, 15% there, 20% here. So sometimes we need to definitely focus in and hone in on what we want to push forward at that moment, I guess I should say. So that was great though. Thank you so much for that. I was wondering while you were talking, what is one of the most important character trait that you think we should have even if, we're already doing all these great things, what is that one character trait that you think, you know what, this is the one thing that's going to help you keep doing what you're doing? This is the one thing that's going to help you be great.
Integrity and honesty. I can't even pick one because they're so close to me.
Right.
Both of them. I do not do business with anyone unless they have integrity and honesty. And there are a lot of people out there that do not have
That's
integrity
true.
and
That's
are
true.
not honest. And so the beautiful part about being an entrepreneur, or for you, Ebony, running your own podcast, you get to pick and choose who your guests are. No one's telling you who you have to
Right.
interview. How
True.
great is that, right? So
Yes.
I usually pre-interview or know most of my guests before they ever come on my show, because I don't want someone on my show that isn't in line with my honesty and my integrity.
Right.
Because I owe that to my listeners. So I don't do work with, I don't collaborate with, I don't partner with anyone that doesn't have integrity. And if you have integrity and honesty, it creates your character of who you are.
That's true.
And that's what you'll be known for. And people will know, like, and trust you faster and easier and want to be around you. I've had women say to me, I just want to be in your presence. That's why I show up at your event. Or I fly across the country because I just wanted to be around your energy. It's like, wow, that's
Right.
insane for someone to say that. But it's true. When you find people that are positive, that have that integrity and that honesty, you trust them no
You
matter
do.
what.
That's true.
You trust them no matter what. And we need people like that in
We
our
do.
corner. We need people like that in our family. We need people like that in our circle. That becomes your net worth. You have to be able to give everything to that circle, knowing it's safe and you're safe. Women won't open up if they don't think they're safe.
No, that's true. And I think that's one of my biggest downfalls, is that I trust people immediately, because I feel like we should be able to, and I've gotten hurt and burned a lot because of that. But I mean, that's one characteristic that I don't want to give up, because I feel like if everybody gives up on each other, we'll never have anything to look forward to in people.
Yeah,
So
you don't
that's
want
awesome.
to live your life having people to earn it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because that's tough.
It is.
Can you imagine if every time you were around someone, you were making them earn your respect and trust? And that would be really tough. So I think it's great that you give it out there. You just have to be really careful to guard in some other areas, because you're right. It does happen. And that happened to me a lot. And I've been burned a lot. And I've been hurt a lot. But I also know this one thing. That has nothing to do with me, and it has everything to do with them. And it's a reflection of who they are, what they lack, and the lack of integrity that they have. And it has nothing to do with me.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that's one thing that I actually pride myself on. Like, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Whether I'm tired, it's 3:00 in the morning, whatever you need me to do. If I said I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna be there. It's gonna happen. So yeah, that's definitely awesome. I was wondering, how far have you gotten in your success? And I don't mean physical. I mean as far as you as a person. Do you think, you've arrived? Do you think you can do better? Like, what is something that you're constantly working on every day?
Every single day, I'm constantly working on myself. So I don't give that up anymore, and I used to. So every day, I'm constantly working on my mindset, my positive mindset, my abundant mindset, and really just squashing a lack mindset every single day. Do I think I've arrived? No way. I always think there's more learning to be done. Have I met thousands and thousands of people and celebrities and people I've never in my life ever think I would have met? Absolutely. It's the craziest world, being an entrepreneur, and how many people you can meet and the circles that you're in. You're just like, what the heck? This is the craziest thing ever. But you also need to believe that you worked to be there.
Right.
And you deserve to be there. And you deserve to be there as much as they deserve to be there. And I think that's where we are the hardest on ourselves, is understanding. That's why I have this sign behind me that says, I am enough. It's remembering that we're worthy to be where we are.
Right.
We're worthy. And no matter who you are, you could be Oprah Winfrey, and she says the same thing, about being worthy where she is. And she said the number one thing people used to say to her after every interview was that okay? Did I do okay? And she's like, I have Will Smith asking me, was that okay? Did I do it? Like, yeah, dude, you did fine.
Right.
I've done how many movies? Like, I think you know what you're doing as an actor. But for some reason, they still look to her for validation. And she was like, you're worthy to be on this stage just like I'm on this stage. So it's just amazing to me as humans how much we believe we're not worthy to be where we deserve to be. So wherever you may land, believe you're worthy to be there and you deserve it. That's why you're there. And until we believe that, we can never go to the next level because we will always self-sabotage ourselves and pull us right back down to the comfortable level.
Wow. That was awesome. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you that was definitely meant for me. So thank you.
Yes,
that definitely helped me a lot. Cause I mean that's definitely one of the things I struggle with a lot, you know. I feel like a lot of times I get myself to places and I'm like, oh my God, why am I here? How did I get here? I don't feel like I should be here, you know, because I'm looking at everybody else that's there and I'm like, I don't have what they have, or I haven't done what they've done, you know. And so yes, that was definitely for me. So thank you.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Hey girl, you should walk into every Zoom room, every live room, every podcast like you own it.
Gotcha. I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what's next for Lead Up? Do you have anything going on right now?
Well, let's see. We just finished up a big 3-day event that we did a couple weeks ago. We have our sanctuary coming up where I just rented a mansion here in Arizona, in Fountain Hills, November 4th through the 7th. That's a really dig deep and work on yourself and leadership skills weekend. We have, private chef come in and private yoga instructor and spa treatments. It's really fun, but we go do service and serve other people. So again, it's very well-rounded, super fun. We do a lot of events, just regularly. For me, it's just steady growth, right? I'm constantly bringing in more women to Lead Up for Women, for the women in Lead Up for Women, and putting them on platforms every chance we get. We're still continuing with our magazine. We just launched our book, Step Into the Spotlight book, on August 11th. The printed copy is going to be available by the end of this week. We've already sold, just thousands of copies already of the ebooks. It's been a phenomenal ride. And I'm so thankful mainly for the women that trust my leadership and trust themselves to step into the spotlight, to be, amazing at what they do. And I want them to use all these platforms for themselves. It's what they're there for. So I'm just so thankful and humbled to been able to lead the charge and lead by example for other women to step into the spotlight, to do the same. And, I want every single female that's your listener to know that that she is worthy. And
right.
If you don't ask, you don't get, right? We need to get very comfortable on asking for what we want. And just remember, you have to start before you're ready. You're never going to be ready to be an entrepreneur. I was not ready to be an entrepreneur when I became an entrepreneur. I built what I built based on just taking one step at a time every single day. And don't compare yourself to anyone else, because you're not anyone else. You're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that will ever be.
Right.
You can't compare yourself to anyone else. By the way, everyone else is taken. There's only you.
True.
So be the best you can be, and, shout that from the mountaintops and tell everyone about it. And don't apologize for you or anything that you do. Just be the best version of you. Do that with integrity and honesty, and it'll take you really far. People are watching you.
True.
So they'll know.
You're right. You're right. Well, thank you so much, Colleen. This has been amazing. Such an eye-opener for me. So inspiring as well. You want to tell my listeners where they can find you?
Oh, yeah. I made it very easy for everyone. It's leadupforwomen.com. It's very easy. You can find us on all social media outlets, Lead Up for Women, LinkedIn, Twitter, we're everywhere, Instagram, Facebook. I have a private link, our Lead Up for Women community Facebook page. We would love for you to join. I have a lot of opportunities out there. We're constantly streaming many of our workshops for you to learn. You've got to just continue to successfully continue to learn and never feel like you're above learning.
Right.
I always say, if learning is beneath you, leadership is beyond you. To be a good leader, you always have to continue learning. So I don't know if I'll ever say that I've arrived but I have a top 10 desires list that sits here on my desk every day of things that I want out of my life. I have my vision board, and I'm just always creating something new.
And that's awesome.
For women.
That's awesome to hear. Because I mean, I was wondering, do people ever stop making vision boards? Do people ever stop making goals and setting, because like you said, we're always evolving. So how do you know if you've arrived if you're not done evolving?
You're never done. And if you interview anyone who's extremely successful, I'm talking billionaires, millionaires, trillionaires, they will always say that, they're focused on the finish line, right, and their competitors are focused on them.
Right.
So you need to always just be focused on the finish line. When you're focused on the finish line and focused on your goals, which are your goals for the year, your vision, whatever that may be, you're constantly in creation mode. Mm-hmm. You're taking care of those around you. You're constantly creating a better future for other people, a better future for your company, a better future for yourself. So you're always in creation mode, and you really never stop. Mm-hmm. The only people I can think of that are really wealthy that didn't build the wealth, that were given the wealth, are sometimes, not always, the people that take advantage of it. And right. But anyone I know that's ever built wealth for themselves, or any book I've ever read that has interviews of others that have built wealth for themselves, they're always building wealth for the impact of the world, for other people, to right. make a difference. And that's a never-ending process.
Right. You're
They're
right.
the most giving, generous people I know.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on BossWife.live on tonight. I will be in touch with you again, and I'm so excited to even air this. I'm super excited. I'm telling you, I'm just overjoyed. So thank you, Colleen, and we will be in touch soon.
Thanks, Ebony.
Wow, you guys, that's all I can say is wow. She's so amazing, so inspirational, so motivating. And again, you guys, this is where you find your weekly motivation or your monthly motivation. Whenever you tune in, don't forget to also look up Colleen. She's amazing. Follow her on Leadup for Women. Follow her on her podcast. Don't forget to expound your horizons, you guys. You have to be motivated in order to continue to be successful. So I have definitely learned a lot on tonight. I love learning. I love being motivated, and, just learning how to master myself in order to master my success is very important. So again, I love you guys. Whatever you listen to music on or watch videos, that's where you can find me. I'm on all social media platforms, all media platforms for podcasting. So again, I love you guys, and I will see you again next Tuesday.